Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ. Well, two of the NFC's top contenders collided on Monday night, with the Lions coming out on top against the Buccaneers, 24-9. Jahmyr Gibbs ran all over Tampa with a career-high 218 yards from scrimmage, plus 2 TDs. Adding to that, though, for the Bucs, losing more than the game, receiver Mike Evans suffered a broken collarbone and will miss most of the rest of the season. That, according to head coach Todd Bowles. Staying in the NFC, the second Monday night matchup, Sam Darnold, he led the Seahawks to a 27-19 win against the Texans. So that's the lone NFC team here in this matchup, just so we're all clear here. They are now 5-2 on the season, and what a night it was for Jackson Smith-Njigba. 8 passes he caught for 123 yards and a touchdown. This segment presented by Fresh Pet, healthy food, fresh from the fridge. We all like stuff from the fridge.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, it's not too bad, right? Hey, we welcome in our NFL analyst, Douzable. And Lige, so Lions, Seahawks, we just talked about those games. They're among 6 teams in the NFC that sit at 5-2 behind the Packers, who are 4-1-1. So we got a little bit of a logjam.
We do.
How are these teams going to separate themselves? Who's going to break out?
It's interesting because usually we're always talking about the strength of the AFC and how good their quarterbacks, but there have been some really good quarterbacking play on the NFC. Right now, it's hard to go against the number 1 seed, the Green Bay Packers. I had a lot of question marks about them, Tiff, especially on the road. Could they get it done on the road? They lost to Cleveland on the road. Remember, they had that tie versus the Cowboys on the road. Well, they go to Arizona, go across the country, and they get a big-time win. Jordan Love was masterful in that fourth quarter. 4th and 2, I love Matt LaFleur. You know what? We're not going to settle for the field goal. We're going for the win. Put the ball in my quarterback's hands. He finds his tight end, Tucker Kraft, for a first down. They go on with Josh Jacobs to take the lead and win that game. And that bad man, Micah Parsons. That's why you pay him upwards to $45 million a year to close out games, and that's exactly what he did for the Green Bay Packers. So you always talk about complimentary football. Right now, the Green Bay Packers, to me, I think they separate themselves.
Yeah, they are rolling right now. So, hey, our friends at Sportsline project the Colts to finish 12-5 this season, so that would have them being the number 1 seed in the AFC going into the playoffs. The way Daniel Jones and this team is playing, his career has been revived. Do you see this playing out?
I think because they are in the AFC South, it does play out like this. And I've been telling people for the longest, Indiana Jones is the real deal. He just knows where to go with the football. He's efficient with it. Love what Shane Steichen has done with him in his offense. Jonathan Taylor has played like a madman, right? 11 touchdowns. He leads the entire NFL. And it's the inventiveness of Shane Steichen, right? He moves people around. He had Michael Pittman in the backfield at tight end, and he gets an easy throw to the flat for a touchdown from Daniel Jones. And then even moving his running back, Jonathan Taylor, outside, motions them in on a speed sweep, gets out-leveraged the defense, gets into the end zone. I love what Shane Steichen has done. And that defense, Tiff, is starting to come around. A little bit of pass rush. Some struggles in the back end, but they got some players injured. They'll come back soon.
Once it all really comes together, then that's a scary team to look at. Right now, the Chiefs are 4-3, and
they're not even in.
Outside of the playoff picture, and they put together back-to-back wins, which sounds crazy that we're even saying, oh, they put together back-to-back wins, because it's the Chiefs, right? We're not used to that. Will we see them in the postseason?
Without a doubt, and they'll probably be one of the top 3 teams. They're starting to find their footing in the NFL right now. They had some injuries on the receiver side. Remember, Xavier Worthy missed a good portion of the beginning of the year. Rasheed Rice comes back in his first game, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. They're finally starting to get that running game a little bit going with Isaiah Pacheco, but the biggest thing for me is that defense is starting to come alive. That defense really struggled in the beginning of the year. They're playing significantly better, and Patrick Mahomes is playing like he did in 2023 when he was an MVP caliber type quarterback. He's taking what the defense is giving him. He's spreading the football around. Tiffany, he hit 9 different receivers on Sunday, spreading the ball around, not forcing it down the field. I love what he's done, and you see his numbers right there. They'll definitely be in the playoffs.
Some creative play calling, too, as we heard in that game a little bit.
It never works.
It never works, does it? Hey, we know you always work. Yeah. And so we go to the next question here, because I know you'll have some great insight on this. The Ravens, well, they were riding a 4-game losing streak going into their bye. And now they'll get the Bears this week. It also looks like they're still going to be without quarterback Lamar Jackson, who's still dealing with a hamstring injury. They have a 17% chance to make the playoffs. Will that chance improve?
Can you be Miss Cleo and let me know if they're going to make the playoffs. If Lamar Jackson isn't healthy, they have no shot. It literally all comes down to the health of Lamar Jackson. Now, that defense had struggled in the beginning of the year. They actually have played better the last few weeks heading into the bye. They got to get guys back. That's their biggest issue right now, Tiffany. They got killed with the injury bug. No one bigger than that guy on the screen, Lamar Action Jackson. He changes the math on offense. Derrick Henry finally got the run game going a little bit right before the bye. But until that guy comes back, the Ravens have no chance to make the playoffs. So that is concerning if we don't know if Lamar Jackson is going to be back, because he is the key to them having success.
Okay, the Bears then. Let's move on to them because, hey, this is a completely different start that they had to the season, right? Because people were calling for Ben Johnson's head up there in Chicago, and now the script has kind of flipped. What do you see from this team? 4
wins in a row. They're probably the least talked about team that's won 4 games in a row. Now, a lot of people will say the schedule's kind of panned out for them. They haven't played the strongest teams in the NFL. But I thought they exercised some demons, Tiffany, 2 weeks ago with that win versus the Commanders. Remember last year, that's kind of like when that team fell off a cliff, when that Hail Mary happened against them versus the Commanders. I believe they lost 9 or 10 straight games. After that, they were able to get over the hump, and they won a close game, and then dominant performance versus the New Orleans Saints, especially on defense. They played really well. But I love that they've been able to get the run game going with DeAndre Swift. That has been the key to this offense. Caleb had a turnover this last game, but he is taking care of the football for the majority part on this 4-game win streak. So Ben Johnson, you knew coming from Detroit, he wanted to run the ball and be efficient on offense. That's what they've been over this 4-game win streak.
How do you think our guy Kyle Long's feeling about this now?
I think he's a little excited about his Bears, right? They're outside looking in because the NFC is so strong right now, but you have to love a 4-game win streak.
Man, Douzable, thanks so much for the insight. All right, a lot to look forward to this coming weekend on CBS and on Paramount Plus with the NFL. You got the Bears, the Ravens at 1 Eastern, and then later on you got the Cowboys and the Broncos at 4:25.
As the playoff picture stands right now, you saw the Chiefs are on the outside looking in, but it feels like things are really starting to click. So what are some moves they need to make ahead of the trade deadline? We're going to discuss coming up.